So normally when you're sick, you go to the doctor, he takes your temperature, and you're walking out with a box of antibiotics feeling happy and hippie. But let's say one day you go to the doctor and maybe they don't see anything. You go to another doctor, maybe 10 more doctors, and maybe even a specialist or two, and you walk out and none of them have any idea what's going on. What do you do then? Hi, my name is Ryan, and I have a rare disease called small fiber neuropathy. And this is something that when I was first diagnosed freaked me the hell out. Nobody knew what was going on. And so I have 5 tips for you how to survive our wonderful medical system. Now, I recently took a trip to Boston, not only to enjoy the wonderful Boston northeastern weather, but to actually meet with some of the top scientists and doctors working on my specific rare disease, small fiber neuropathy. And this was not by accident, and that brings us to our first tip, which is to advocate for yourself. Nobody knows your illness, your symptoms better than you. Despite what doctors say, you are the #1 case study for yourself. You know you more than anybody. Nobody can tell you you know more about what's going on with your body than you when you feel it. You may not know what's going on, but you're the one that has to be that person to push the doctors to get you where you want to be. Me going to Boston was no accident. I didn't just go to enjoy the wonderful architecture and history that is going on in that city. I went because I knew that's the place I needed to be if I wanted to get any real answers. Now, when I was in Boston, I met with several specialists that deal with my specific disease, and one of the things we talked about was exercise. And this brings us to our next tip: get off your frickin' bum and move. Human bodies, whether they're sick or not, were made to move up and down, left and right. That's why we have limbs that do all these crazy things. And when you're in a flare, believe me, I know the last thing you want to do is get off the couch and go take a walk. But I'm telling you, do it. Your body will thank you. Sitting only makes it worse, and this is something that I can tell you from the experts. Moving, no matter what capacity, is good for your body. The more you can do, the better it is. Build up, start very simple, start small, and this is a great tip that I think any of us can use. And it sounds really simple. It sounds like, duh, you should know this, but when you're in a flare and you have these constant pains and aches, it's really difficult to make yourself do it. But get off your bum and move. So like I mentioned before, you are the #1 advocate for yourself. You know your body better than anybody else, no matter who you're talking to, no matter what doctor you see. And one thing that I've learned that's really important leads into our next step in being able to get through this chronic illness medical journey, and that is being able to read about your disease. The more information you have, the more power you have to take action. And that is another reason why I went to Boston, because I knew they could give me more information, and they could give me information that I would not be able to receive anywhere else. And the more you know, the more you have power. The more you have power, the more you can take action to do the things that are best for your body. And this is where experimentation comes in play. The more information you have, the more you can experiment with diet, nutrition, exercise, all of these things that I talk about in many videos that I've probably linked down in the description below. But #3, read. And sadly, there's a vice to this reading thing, and that leads into our 4th tip I have for braving our medical system, and that is to stop reading. Okay, I was somebody that was, when I'm first diagnosed, reading constantly. I was trying to learn everything I could about the disease I had. And while this was good, I was getting the information I needed, it also led my mind to a very negative place. There's a problem when you're spending 24/7, 24 hours a day, reading about a disease you have. You're not living your life. And you need to be able to still live your life. You're still alive, you're still kicking. There's no reason that you need to make the disease you. You are greater than that. And so something that you need to do is honestly get to a point. I like to give myself a few hours every so many days to look into research and then try and cut myself off. I'm really bad at this. I still get lost in moments of OCD, but if you can stop reading, that's the next tip that I think will help you out a bunch. So while I did learn a lot of things in Boston, there are a few things that I learned on my own. And one of the most important things, and the final tip I have for this video for you, is a thing we like to call mindfulness. Now, if you've been watching me for any extent of time, you know I've talked about this probably in every single video, and there's a very good reason. Your mind has huge control over the physical symptoms you experience in your body. Even if you don't have a chronic illness like myself, but you experience depression or anxiety or any of those fun mental things, just being aware of your surroundings and what triggers bring those on is really important to being able to recover and manage those symptoms. And just because I say mindfulness, I'm not gonna say go sit in a meadow and meditate listening to like some Jimi Hendrix or something like that, though that would be amazing. What I'm saying is you need to be more cognizant of the things around you and what triggers your emotions. Like that car alarm, if you can hear it, that's pissing me off because I'm trying to film right now, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. Nothing can stop you, and the more mindful you are of those things, the more control you have. If you really enjoyed this video, please let me know any other mindfulness tips or any tips you find that helped you brave your own medical journey down in the comments below. Find me on Instagram, hit me up anytime at Ryan Mitchell Brown, and I'll see you in the next video.